Hello, friends! It's so good to see you again. Can you believe it's already Friday? Our week together has gone by so fast. Do you like Fridays?
Yes!
I do too. I think Fridays are always fantastic. And today, we're going to hear more fast facts. We'll ask another expert about what they do in their community. We'll listen to a story about a special place. And we'll actually finish our community chant. Plus, we'll visit Professor Squirrel and Nutley again to learn how animals and plants work together. And as always, we'll take a moment to get up and move it. Now, does that sound like a fantastic Friday to you?
Yes!
Great. So one of my favorite things about Fridays is that there's a farmer's market in my community. My dog and I walk through the aisles of fresh flowers, fruits, and veggies from farmers who live nearby. And I see so many people from my community, including some who even play music. It's a great time. Oh, it's time! Get ready. We're going to finish our community chant.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Dan. It's time to add our last verse about community helpers, librarians. And it sounds like this. Do you want another book? Librarians know where to look. They can help find what you need when searching for new things to read. You know what comes next. I'll say the first line, and then you'll repeat after me. Do you want another book?
Do you want another book?
Librarians know where to look.
Librarians know where to look.
They can help find what you need
They can help find what you need
when searching for new things to read.
when searching for new things to read.
Thanks so much, Mr. Dan. How amazing was that? We learned a little of the chant each day, and we finally did it. This is a fantastic Friday. Now we're going to learn more about one of my favorite places to visit. See if you can guess what it is. I'll give you some clues. This is a special place in my community. There are friendly people who work here and cozy chairs to sit in. And when I visit this place, I look, and my imagination goes wild. Any guesses? It's my community library. I go every single week to check out new books to read. It's been there since I was probably about your age, maybe even before. Here's Armand with a fast fact about libraries.
Some libraries are old. And I mean really, really old. How old, you ask? Try 1,000 years or more. In the city of Fez, in the country of Morocco, there's a library that's over 1,100 years old. A woman started Al-Qarawiyyan Library in 859 CE. And she also built a school and a mosque to go with it. And all three are still around today. Amazing! Well, that's all for me. Until next time, Armand, out.
Thanks, Armand. I had no idea. Old or new, libraries are great. And it's not just the books that make them great. Do you know what someone who works at a library and helps people find just the right book is called? A librarian. Let's learn more about librarians and what they do.
What's in a library? Welcome to the library. I'm a librarian, and I think I have the best job in the world because I get to work here. My favorite part of my job is helping you find any book you want to read. Have you ever wondered why bubbles are round or why the sky is blue? Do you want to discover more about a favorite animal or dinosaur? The library is full of books about all of those things and more. I just love libraries. Once you start visiting them, you'll love libraries too.
Librarians have pretty amazing jobs, if you ask me. Going to help people find the perfect book sounds like a dream. Have you ever been to a library?
Yes!
That's a lot of you. I hope you checked out some books. I love using my library card. Pretty much anything you would want to learn about the world can be found in a book. Libraries often have story time too. When I was your age, I loved to go listen to the library and read stories to all the kids. Are you wondering what else librarians do each day?
Yes!
Good. My classroom helper Saya is going to ask a real-life librarian questions about their day. Let's see how her interview went.
Hi! Thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thanks for having me.
My first question is, how long have you been a librarian?
I've been a librarian for 10 years. Before I was a librarian, though, I worked in a bookstore. So now I get to lend books out. People borrow them and bring them back instead of just selling them, which is a lot more fun for me.
What are some of the things you do each day?
Every day I come in and organize the library. I put things in order, which is something that librarians do all the time. I work with teachers about helping with research. I also love when students come in to check out books. That's mostly what I do all day, is check out and get people interested in books that maybe they weren't interested in before.
What is your favorite thing about being a librarian?
My favorite thing for sure is working with students and talking about stories they've read, hearing about books they want me to purchase in the library, and just spending time with books.
Thanks again for letting me ask you questions about your job. I think being a librarian sounds pretty cool.
It's always great to be around books, so thanks.
I had no idea librarians did so much. It sounds like a great job, as long as you love books and you love to learn. Books are powerful. They can take you almost anywhere. All you need is your imagination. How does that work? Well, for example, I've never been to the desert. Really? It's pretty far from where I am. But by looking in a book at pictures of a real desert and reading about the animals there, I have a better idea of what it's like there. And maybe someday I can go visit that far-off place in real life. Speaking of far-off places, Armand has another fast fact to share. Take it away, Armand.
Most libraries are buildings where people go to borrow books. Those buildings usually stay in one place. But what if I told you there's a library that can come to you? Meet the Biblioburro in the country of Colombia. Burro means donkey in Spanish, which makes sense because this library is literally 2 donkeys that carry books to areas that may not have their own library. A teacher named Luis Soriano came up with an idea to bring books to kids who live in rural parts of the country. He does this with the help of his 2 friends, Alpha and Beto. It sounds like a lot of fun to pick out books from a donkey. I'll see you all next time. Armand, out.
Thanks, Armand. I love how that little library moves around. And speaking of moving, it's time to get up and move it. Are you ready? ABC, take it away.
Hi there! Come on, stand up! It's time to move it! Let's run the stay in place race! It's the only race where you run in place! Ready? Go! Start jogging! You're doing great! All right, we're all warmed up. And now run a little faster. Keep going! Get ready to sprint! That means run as fast as you can! Are you ready? Sprint, everyone! As fast as you can! slow down a little. You're doing great! Rest up for the big finish, and now, time's almost up. Run! Fast, 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 fast! And stop! You made it! Now, do a victory pose. Oh, wow! You sure know how to move it! See you next time! Bye!
Can you guess what I am? That's right, I'm a rabbit. Now it's your turn. Can you pose like your favorite animal? Nice job. I just love all kinds of animals. I like plants too. And that brings me to the next part of our day. Our friends, Professor Squirrel and Nutley, are here to teach us more about plant and animal communities. Just like people, plants and animals work together in very important ways.
That sneaky fox is going to hear it from me. A nerve of that guy.
Nutley, what happened?
I was walking along, minding my own business, when a mean old fox tried to make me his dinner. What'd I ever do to him, huh?
I'm sure nothing.
Exactly, Professor.
What I mean, Nutley, is that the fox was only doing what it needs to survive.
This better be where you teach me something that I don't know, because it sounds like you're taking his side. And he's a bad fox.
Let me explain, Nutley. There are many kinds of living things in the forest, right?
Sure. There are rabbits and snakes and grasshoppers. And us, the mighty squirrels.
So what do you think, Nutley? There's 100 squirrels in this area?
Actually, there are 92. Makes us pretty important, I suppose.
Oh, yes, Nutley, very important. But we're not the only population in this area. There are populations of rabbits, deer, rats, and mice.
Oh, and foxes.
Yes, foxes too. And these animals are all part of the food web.
Ah, the food web. Of course.
So you understand what the food web is?
Not at all.
Okay, let's back up. The sun gives light to all of the plants, like the grass, for example. The plants then use that sunlight to make food.
You mean plants make their own food? Out of thin air?
Well, yes, out of air and nutrients from the soil and water.
That's amazing!
Yes, Nutley, it is. But unlike plants, animals cannot make their own food. So some animals, like rabbits, grasshoppers, and mice, eat grass and other plants to survive.
I prefer acorns myself.
Me too, Nutley. Now, some animals don't eat grass or leaves or any parts of plants, but they too need food. And since they don't make their own food, then those animals, like snakes, must eat other animals, like mice. Some animals, like rats, eat both plants and other animals for food. And snakes eat rats as well as mice.
So this is a food web?
It's part of one, yes. Now, who do you think eats rabbits and rats?
And sometimes squirrels? Mean old foxes, that's who!
And so do owls and hawks.
Making a note of that.
See, Nutley, we're all part of a food web. It's very important to all of our lives. Imagine if there wasn't any grass or leaves. What would the mice, the rabbits, or the grasshoppers eat? And if there were no rabbits or mice or grasshoppers, what would the snakes, the rats, and the foxes eat?
Wow, the food web really is important.
Yes, Nutley, it is. And that's not all.
I'm all ears.
Some living things, like worms and ants, eat parts of animals and plants that are dead. They also eat the waste that animals make.
Did you say waste?
Yes, waste. It's another way of saying poop.
These worms and insects eat poop and dead things?
Yes, they're also a very important part of a food web.
Can I just say how happy I am to be a squirrel right now?
So, Nutley, that fox wasn't trying to be mean. He was merely doing what all animals in the food web do to survive.
You're right, Professor. Now I feel bad. Hey, maybe I'll tell him I'm sorry in a letter. I am no longer mad at you for trying to ruin my day. We're all just part of the food web. Your pal, Nutley.
Nutley, where are you going?
To hand deliver my letter. Wanna come?
No, and you shouldn't go either. Remember,
Good point.
Oh, Nutley. It's good to think of all the ways that plants and animals in a habitat need each other, just like people in a community need each other. We really are connected. Let's go back to our special word of the week one more time. Community. This week, I learned so much about many of the very important people in our own communities. Can you help me remember who they are?
Yes!
Great. There are people who work in schools. Teachers. People who work in fire stations and help keep us safe. Firefighters. People who help us stay strong and healthy. Doctors. And people who help us learn more about the world. Librarians. Next time I'm out in my community, I'll make sure to stop and thank them for all they do. I hope you enjoyed learning all about different kinds of communities with me this week. Next, I have one last set of special activities, stories, and games that are ready for you to get going on. I had a blast spending time with you, and I can't wait to see you again next week. I'll see you soon. In the meantime, do your playlist, be good, and have fun.
ABCmouse.com